decade as Canada's Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau on Monday said he would be stepping down.
I intend to resign as party leader, as Prime Minister, after the party selects its next leader.
Trudeau was facing mounting pressure, including from Liberal legislators, to quit amid polls showing the party will be crushed in the next election. Trudeau also said Parliament would be suspended until March 24th. The 53-year-old Trudeau took office in November 2015 and won re-election twice, making him one of Canada's longest-serving prime ministers. But he saw his popularity dip 2 years ago as public anger over high prices and a housing shortage grew. His fortunes never recovered. The next election must be held by late October, regardless of who the leader is.
This country deserves a real choice in the next election, and it has become clear to me that if I'm having to fight internal battles, I cannot be the best option in that election.
Parliament was due to return this month, and opposition parties had vowed to bring down the government as soon as they could. If Parliament does not return until March 24th, the earliest they could present a non-confidence motion would be May. Until recently, Trudeau had been able to fend off Liberal legislators worried about the polls and the loss of safe seats in 2 special elections. That changed after he tried to demote one of his closest cabinet allies, Finance Minister Chrystia Freeland, after she pushed back against his proposals for more spending. Trudeau on Monday called Freeland an incredible political partner.
I had really hoped that she would agree to continue as my Deputy Prime Minister and take on one of the most important files that not just this government but this country is facing, but she chose otherwise.
Freeland quit and penned a letter accusing Trudeau of political gimmicks, rather than focusing on what was best for the country. Polls show the Liberals will badly lose to the official opposition Conservatives, led by Pierre Poilievre.
A lawsuit filed by Nippon Steel and US Steel on Monday alleges that US President Joe Biden violated the Constitution by blocking Nippon Steel's $14.9 billion bid for US Steel. The companies want the federal court to scrap Biden's decision so they can secure another shot at approval. They want to go through a fresh national security review unfettered by political influence. The lawsuit alleges Biden prejudiced the decision of the Committee on Foreign Investment in the US, a body that scrutinizes foreign investments for national security risks. The merger became highly politicized ahead of the November US election. Both Trump and Biden pledged to kill the deal as they wooed voters in the swing state of Pennsylvania, where US Steel is headquartered. The United Steelworkers Union had strongly opposed the tie-up. The companies allege Biden sought to scrap the deal to curry favor with the union's leadership in Pennsylvania. Both candidates asserted the company should remain American-owned. That was even after the Japanese firm offered to move its US headquarters to Pittsburgh, where the US steelmaker is based. The White House did not immediately respond to a request for comment. The lawsuit shows the companies are making good on their threats of litigation and will continue to fight to get the deal approved.
Former French President Nicolas Sarkozy went on trial on Monday on charges of having received millions of euros in illegal financing from Libya's late strongman leader Muammar Gaddafi. Sarkozy has always denied the allegations, which relate to his successful 2007 presidential bid. At issue is a murky affair alleged to involve Libyan spies, a convicted terrorist and arms dealers, as well as allegations that Gaddafi shipped millions of euros for Sarkozy's campaign to Paris in suitcases. Sarkozy faces charges of, quote, concealment of embezzlement of public funds, passive corruption, illegal campaign financing and criminal conspiracy with a view to committing a crime, the Financial Prosecutor's Office said. If found guilty, the former Conservative leader could face up to 10 years in prison and $386,000 in fines. Sarkozy has faced a raft of legal battles in recent years. In December last year, France's highest court upheld his conviction for corruption and influence peddling to obtain favours from a judge. Sarkozy has been ordered to wear an electronic bracelet for a year instead of going to jail, a first for a French former head of state. In another case, Sarkozy was found guilty of concealing illegal campaign spending, and a challenge is pending.
Vive la République! A magnitude 6.8 earthquake rocked the northern foothills of the Himalayas near one of Tibet's holiest cities on Tuesday morning, Chinese authorities said. It killed dozens of people and shook buildings in neighboring Nepal, Bhutan and India. The quake's epicenter was in the rural county of Tingri, according to the China Earthquake Network Center. The area is known as the Northern Gateway to the Everest region. China's state-run television said that at least 130 people were injured on the Tibetan side. Chinese President Xi Jinping called for all-out rescue efforts. More than 1,500 local firefighters and rescue workers have been dispatched to affected areas, China's Xinhua news agency reported. It added that some 22,000 items, including tents, coats, quilts and beds, have also been sent to the quake-hit region. Southwestern parts of China, Nepal and northern India are frequently hit by earthquakes caused by the collision of the Indian and Eurasian tectonic plates.
The US Department of Defense has added gaming giant Tencent to a list of firms allegedly aiding China's military. Also added are firms including battery maker CATL and China's largest shipping company, COSCO. Tencent shares fell over 7% in Hong Kong trade on Tuesday, following the news. In a statement, it said that being added to the list was clearly a mistake, saying it was not a military company or supplier. CATL also called the move a mistake, while there was no immediate response from the other entities named. Being added to the list doesn't mean Tencent or the other companies will face sanctions, but it's a blow to the firm's reputations and a warning to US companies about the dangers of engaging with them. The list is updated annually and now designates 134 firms in all. It's part of moves to highlight and restrict businesses that the DoD says pose a risk to national security. China's embassy in the US condemned the new moves and called to end, quote, discriminatory practices. In 2021, phone maker Xiaomi was removed from the list after suing the US government. One analyst told Reuters that Tencent had a good chance of securing a similar outcome.
Donald Trump's election victory was formally certified on Monday.
For President of the United States,
Vice President Kamala Harris presided over the joint session of Congress, clearing the way for her former election rival to be sworn in as president later this month.
Donald J. Trump of the state of Florida has received 312 votes. Kamala D. Harris
The ceremony stood in sharp contrast to exactly 4 years ago, when Trump supporters stormed the Capitol in a failed attempt to block the certification of his loss.
Well, today was obviously a very important day.
Harris spoke to reporters after she said she performed her constitutional duties.
One of the most important pillars of our democracy is that there will be a peaceful transfer of power. And today, America's democracy stood.
They are marching through now.
On January 6, 2021, rioters surged past police barricades, assaulting about 140 officers and causing more than $2.8 million in damage. Multiple police officers who battled protesters died in the weeks that followed, some by suicide. Trump continues to falsely claim that his 2020 defeat was the result of widespread fraud. He has said he plans to pardon some of those charged with taking part in the riot. Security inside and outside the Capitol was heightened on Monday, with snowy Capitol grounds ringed by metal fences and checkpoints, along with extra teams of uniformed police checking IDs at entrance sites. The boosted security is expected to remain in place through Trump's inauguration on January 20th.